Hello, hello. Oh, so quick, Nyanda Delta, so quick. Give me a couple minutes because I just got boba. I ordered some boba and it just came right now, so I'm just gonna make sure that my partner's getting it right now. Beans is getting it, but want to make sure there's nothing like a code or anything that they need for him to get the goods. So give me a minute or two, and then we'll get started right away. You just woke up? Alright, go get yourself some, like, I don't know if you have caffeine or anything. But yeah. We'll get started in a bit. BRB. Alright. Boba get. It has been received. I say boba, but it doesn't actually have boba. I actually got a strawberry matcha milk tea? No boba. Even though I do like it. And big thank you to Beans the Bear. He was the one that retrieved it. He said the secret code to the delivery person and everything. But let's go ahead and switch over to our main screen and get started. Cool. All right. Everything looks good. Everything is in a working order. The only thing I forgot is to put on some music. And yeah, today let's do some little chill hop. Why did I say it like that? But yeah, so for today we're gonna be studying some glyphs, some Maya and Egyptian glyphs. I'm kind of I did prep for this, but a part of me is also like, we'll kind of like roll with the vibe of things. Let's see. How about chill hop year mix? Ooh, in the middle of the song. Okay, let me put on some music. And thanks for joining, Nyanda Delta. I know you said you were excited for this. I'm excited too. So I'll also give like a layout of what we'll be doing. So as you can see, I'm here on Procreate. I'm here on my iPad, and I even set it up so that like, you know, that line is supposed to tell me where I'm supposed to draw. Because here on the right side, wait, left, right. I have such trouble like with my left and my right. But here on the right side is actually a workbook that a colleague actually let me. They made it. A colleague made it, and I'm pretty much using it for this stream. And this is gonna be the resource we're gonna be using for learning Maya glyphs from like the Maya culture. We have a lot of so these are glyphs for different things like colors, natural elements. What else we got here? Nouns like road, heart, flower, animals. This one I'm pretty excited for. So we're gonna be just pretty much just copying some of these glyphs and kind of seeing like if there's any difficulties with them or anything. And then for Egyptian, here's what I'm thinking. For the first hour, because I put out a poll and I wanted to see what people wanted to go over first. Did they want to do Maya or Egyptian first? And it seemed like people wanted to do Maya first. So for the first hour, we'll do Maya. And this will be straightforward, just copying, you know? Like just copying and maybe talking and chilling. And feel free to just follow along or just chill alongside us. And that's what we'll do for Maya for maybe the first hour. But who knows? We might reach the second hour and be like, I want to keep doing this. For this, but yeah, for the second portion, I do have it's another workbook, but it's actually like scanned from a specific book. So this actually has like information and like text and kind of context, which like I won't read the entire thing, but we'll use it as kind of our studies for how to do like Egyptian as well. But we'll go with the flow. We'll see if people just want to do like the Maya glyphs for the whole couple hours, or if they just want to do Egyptian. Well, we'll see. And then I also had an extra thing that in case people were interested as well. Let me reduce the size of this. Is that like I apologize if I made it seem like I already knew stuff about Maya and Egyptian glyphs. I do know like a teensy bit, but this isn't going to be any kind of tutorial. This is going to be me studying alongside you all. But there is one script that I do know, like not by heart, but like for the most part I know how to do off the top of my head, and it's Babayin. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but Babayin, but like the ancient writing system. A lot of people say from the Philippines, but it's specifically from what I have studied, it's specifically just Tagalog and Bisaya. So like, yeah, like, so like, you know, you can't go up to like an Ifugao or a Mindanao person and be like, like, oh man, do you know the Baybayin? And it's like, no, that's different. That's like Bisaya and Tagalog. So, I do know a little bit of that. So if people are interested in that, we have time, we can also go into that. But for the most part, I want this to be focused on a little bit of Maya, a little bit of Egyptian. And if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free, because I also put up the resource over here. I can also make it bigger now that I think about it, in case y'all want to follow along as well. Oh, cool. It's more of a historical language that no one speaks verbally. I read about that too, that like it wasn't even mostly used for like when you think of, for example, in history class, there was like Mesopotamian cuneiform. That was more so, at first at least, it was more so used for recording like stock, right? Recording things. That one I don't know. I don't really know how to draw, but it's very like, I don't know. It kind of looks like lots of arrows like that. But Baybayin, from what I heard, was mostly just for like poems, not necessarily for people to like. I do know that people read Baybayin instead. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, like from what I've heard, it was more so like poems, not necessarily like the opposite of cuneiform, essentially. But I'm always willing to learn more. I also recently took a workshop on because there's like the Tagalog version that looks. How did I used to do it? Oh my god, I'm forgetting how I used to. There we go. So, for example, this is like pa. This will be quick, and then I'll go into like the Maya glyphs. But this is like the character for pa in like Baybayin, but there's a Bisaya version where the our teacher told us that it kind of looks more like a bird, kind of like that, and it also means pa. And it was just pretty cool because, fun fact, my signature and a lot of my artwork is actually is that, which is pa and o for pao. So that's my signature in some of my art and some of my artwork, yeah. So yeah, we could go into that if people are interested, but otherwise I want to learn alongside you all. So let's get into some Maya glyphs. For a little bit of context, my job does talk a lot about like Maya culture, but I don't know too much other than some like basic history. By the way, right now I'm gonna start off with let's see what we got here. With colors, we're gonna start with yellow. Let me make this bigger. Let's start with some colors. I'm gonna start with yellow. And this workbook, it's also offered to like students that are like younger, like middle school age. Kind of looks like a cross, but wait, I shouldn't put like Christian ideals on something that is not necessarily Christian. So, but it does kind of look like a crossroads at least, with a circle in the middle. I mean, I did make it square, but it can also be a little bit more round. You got yellow. And I think one of my goals with this is to be able to combine different glyphs together. Because that's actually... So for example, that's something that they already do in some of the Maya glyph writing systems. Like this is a good example. If you look at the middle right, where it says Pas, to dawn, amanecer, the top is the glyph for sun, I believe. Or sky, it's sky. The top one is the glyph for sky. The bottom one is the glyph for earth. And then the one in the middle, in between them, is the glyph for sun. So it's almost like the sun is kind of wedged in between the sky and earth, which like is apt for its definition because it means to dawn. So if we combine things like, for example, like yellow monkey, there's a specific way to combine it. But that one isn't in this workbook. There's actually like a specific like way you're supposed to do it. Like for example, oh, you might hear my cat meow. Snackery. You okay, buddy? For example, you would put like an abbreviated version of the glyph like here. And then this would be kind of like the center glyph. Then there would be another one that like kind of modifies it here and another one that modifies it here. And I'll explain what that means, but... Or at least my knowledge of it. Once again, like, I don't know that much. I'm kind of just learning alongside you all. And if anything, there's plenty of free resources online, too, that we could look into. But let me go back to the colors. Another thing I want to practice is the pronunciation. Because here we have kan, but there's an apostrophe in the middle there. So, from what my colleague told me, there's actually different ways to pronounce it if there's an apostrophe. She said that because there's many different dialects or languages of Maya. It's not just one. There's like Yucatec. Let me write this down. So Maya language. There's different kinds. The ones that my colleague told me about are Yucatec. Oops. Yucatec Maya. And then there's another one. I think it was like... I feel like there was a... Sorry, let me get another window open. And while I'm speaking, feel free to also like write the glyphs on your own. Kinds of Maya language. Oh, there's a whole bunch. Quiche, that's the one that I'm a little bit more familiar with. Quiche. But there's loads more, it's not just these. And more. But going back to like this word over here, kan, which has an apostrophe in it, one way could be an, where there's like more of a separation between the k sound and the an sound, so it's an. And then I think there was another one where it's trying to like replicate it. Kan. I think she said it was called like a dental fricative. So like what that means, it's almost like it clicks against your teeth. Kan, kan. I have to practice it more. I have to ask my colleague about it. But basically there's different ways. The one that I kind of default to would be kan. So yellow is kan. And then black would be ik. This one looks like there's a circle. Snackery. Let me know if you can hear my cat. I think he wants attention. Because he's not next to the door. Aw, Snackery, you want to say hi to the stream? Aww. Kawawa naman. And then there's a. Let me know if you guys are hearing the sound of the Steam alerts. That's Beans. Every time he finishes playing a game, it gives me an alert that's like, oh, Beans. We share games. We Steam share our games. So it's like, oh, these games are now available to play because he's not playing them anymore. So this glyph means black. It looks like there's some cross hatching in there, but I also feel like I've seen another version of this. That's another thing with Maya glyphs, is that there's so many different versions of the same glyph that like what you're seeing on the screen, that's not like the only way to draw black or white. And I've also been thinking, if anyone wants to, like, by the end of the stream, if any of y'all want to share what your glyph drawings look like, if you're following along, I'm thinking you could just use my art tag, which is Bibinkart. I'll put it in the chat. Oopsie. Hashtag so it's like Bibinka, but RT at the very end. Art tag. But here we have the glyph for black, which one of the pronunciations would be eek. So let me move these over. Meow. Ooh, so the one for white, tak, looks interesting because it's long. It's a long boy. Meow. Do any of you with if anyone in chat has cats? Do any of you have like the needy cats? I can hear my cat behind me almost like responding like, I'm not needy, you're just not petting me. That's the real crime. Oh man, Nyanda, you have 7? I know that you had one of your cats had kittens recently, right? Is that also part of the 7? How is it taking care of all the little... Oh, 4 kittens. We actually had 3 cats total in the household up until today because we were actually cat sitting for Beans's relative. So we had 3 cats, and at nighttime they love to run around, especially at 3 in the morning. And I just wasn't used to, like, I'm used to our 2 cats that are always with us, Gino and Schnackery. But the one that we were cat sitting, he has no problem with running across your chest while you're asleep. Or one time he actually scratched both me and Beans in the middle of the night. But I think it's because we spooked him. And because he was in zoomy mode. He had the zoomies. But that cat went back to Beans' relatives, and now we're back down to our 2 cats. Schnackery's in the background here, begging for. Oh no, he's taking a shower now. He's cleaning himself, and then the other one is Gino, who we call I call him Stinky Gino or Stinky Jinky, because when he was a baby he had poopy problems. So I would call him Stinky Jinky. If you hear a dog, that's not our dog. That is the neighbor's dog. So this is the glyph for white. Suck. And this can definitely, like, because this is so skinny in comparison to the other 2, the ones that I have, like, right here. I feel like this is the version of the glyph that is used as, like, a modifier. So if you're trying to describe something as, like, white, let's say white star, then you would put the glyph that I just drew, sock, right next to, let's say, the one for star, to maybe the left or right side. But I would have to look into, like, what are actually, like, the directionals for it. But yeah, that's our story with just 2 cats. How is it with your 7 cats, Nyanda? Sorry, I was taking a sip of my milk tea. One thing that I learned with having 2 cats is that they have different personalities. Schnackery is, like, kind of needy, and, like, he doesn't mind if I giggle him too much. if I smack his butt a little, he doesn't mind it. But the other one, Stinky Jinky, he doesn't like his head being touched, and he seems kind of he acts like royalty sometimes. Oh, you were a foster for cats, so you've definitely seen the different personalities, right? Aw, abandoned kittens and newborn ones. Sorry, just moving my model a little bit. Ah, so you're definitely familiar with, like, with, like, yeah, the different personalities. And it's funny because recently we also house sat for another one of Beans' relatives recently. And that relative already has an adult cat. I think it's about a year old, but they also just got a kitten, and it was so small. And we got Gino, we got Stinky Jinky and Schnackery when they were, like, young kittens, but I don't know if we've ever taken care of one that young. And I feel like I forgot so many things. I was like, oh no, what's it like to take care of a kitten again? Because they're just so, like, small and defenseless. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to step on you. So when we were staying over and, like, house sitting and cat sitting, I was very tempted to, like, ask folks on Twitter, like, does anyone know how to take care of kittens? So, like, I should have contacted you, Nyanda, but I think in the moment we kind of figured it out. You took extra time and took extra year of animal care. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, and it's, like, amazing how much, well, this is with any animal really, but, like, how much they can develop within such a short amount of time. Because I'm willing to bet that the kitten that we were cat sitting a while back, I've seen pictures of it and it looks a lot bigger, and I feel like it's a lot more independent now. You know what we were struggling with? We were struggling with the adult cat getting along with the new kitten, right? Because, like, you know, it's a new experience to having to share space with another animal, another creature. And the adult cat that was already there, I don't think she liked the kitten. So they would I would say fight, but it's like, it's more so the adult cat was like was just not tolerating the little one. So I think that's what we were having trouble with, is like, oh no, we gotta like separate them, make sure that the adult cat like is also feeling the affection and the attention. Yeah, it's best you start smell introduction first for the first. Yeah, that's what we did. We separated them by room, and I saw we looked it up, of course, that if you have like, for example, their bowls on either side of the same door, then they don't see each other, but they still smell each other. Then you let them meet for 2 to 3 weeks after. Yeah. I actually don't know if like we only cat sat house sat like maybe. How long ago was this? Maybe a month ago? So I'm sure the kitten is like a little bit more grown up now. Ah, okay, yeah. So that's what people should do. They should have the scent first, and then you can introduce them. Cause yeah, what it sounded like is that like there was a little bit of aggression at first. Here's the glyph for red. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep all the glyphs in the same place, the ones that we've already drawn. I'm just gonna make them small. But that's cool that you have both the experience and kind of like the training to watch over fluffy little kittens and cats. It can scare them and treat the new roomie as a threat. Yes, that's exactly what was happening. That is exactly what was happening. Is probably the adult cat felt threatened. It's like, why is there a new creature here? Why is it so small? Like, even though it's like a younger version of your own species, right? Like, but because it's not her kitten. It's not her kitten. I think she was just like, what the heck? How could you? Yeah, I think it's worth checking in with those kitty cats, see how they're doing now. Oh, this next glyph is interesting. Yash. For certain Maya languages, the X is pronounced as like an SH sound. I learned to administer subcutaneous fluids and intravenous during emergency dehydration. Oh no! I've heard about that too. That like, you know, when they're at that young age, if they are already separated from their mom, it's very risky, right? It's very risky. I say that age, but I'm trying to remember. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. 2 years ago is essentially when like my family plus like my family at home plus like my partner's family all got cats around the same time. It was almost like we went from like knowing no one with cats to suddenly everyone had cats, because like we got Schneckery in like November of 2021. Oh no, earlier, like March or May, and then we got Stinky Jinky November. And then following that, my family back home, my parents and my siblings, they got a new cat. And then Beans' relative got a new cat. And then another one of Beans' relatives got a new cat. So just everyone had a new cat all since like, 2021. So all of a sudden, like, all of us are kind of going through the same struggles. But I think the youngest was my little brother's cat, whose name is Zuki, short for zucchini. And it was young. I want to say it was only like, how old was it? I want to say like 3 to 4 weeks. It was so tiny. And I wasn't sure if like if that was okay to separate a kitten that young from its mom. And because, that is a fear that like when it's separated that young, like, is it gonna survive? Oh, the music's kind of loud in my ears. So let me lower it a little bit. They have to drink mama's milk. The colostrum helps boost their immune system, so if they never get that from their survival rate. Oh, I see. But they're still okay if they're taken care of, and vitamins and booster shots as they age. Yeah, my mom was the one who took. So technically, the cat is my little brother's, but my mom was the one who like took care of the cat the most. She loves that cat. She calls it what does she call it? She calls it kuting, but there's another name. There's another name in Visaya that she calls it. Now you know what? I think she at first she did call it like kuting, but then she started just calling it Zuki, and then and then she went into full like mom giggle mode, and she was like, "Hi, my love." But my mom loves that cat, and she was the one who did all the like a whole bunch of research on like what she should feed the cat, and then she would text me every so often of like, oh, like, you know, is it normal for the cat to be like this? You know, is it normal for the cat to make sounds like brr, brr? And I'm pretty sure she took it to the vet within kind of those first weeks. Green, blue. The eldest cat was a singleton with no mama, so he was sick until he became an adult. Had to do 24/7 care until he was strong enough. Oh no! I've never heard of panleukopenia. Panleukopenia. Let me look that up. Is that kind of like a very risky cat disease? Panleukopenia. Oh no! Highly contagious viral disease. Oh, poor thing. Oh, I see. Feline parvo. Aw, it sounds like it ended up, you know, like fine though in terms of, but the 27 care, man. I'm just gonna take a sip real quick of my milk tea. Dang, so through thick and thick, thin and thick. Thick and thin. There we go. Thick and thin. You really cared for the kitty cats. That's really admirable. Because it really is like, you know, taking care of I can understand why people say like, you know, people call their pets their fur babies, because it really is like taking care of a baby after a while. He's fine, yes. He was very fragile in his early life, but now he's strong and he can break doors. Oh no. I've seen those videos of like cats that can like, for one, open doors by themselves. So, you know, nothing is safe. Luckily our cats don't break any doors or open the... Wait, where'd he go? Did he already leave? Oh, okay. Our cats can't break doors, but Schnackery in general, he loves to scratch at it. That's why we started leaving the door open when we sleep. The idea of a cat breaking down doors is like so funny, because if you're a cat owner, you can definitely like imagine it. It reminds me of that video. You must have seen it, Lambda, the one where like someone opens up the automatic feeder and the cat just takes like a huge munch of the food before the owner tries to like grab it away. He can open doors, but he can get angry if I separate him from me. So he tore down the door overnight. No. Oh my gosh, he's so angry. I don't know why I immediately imagine like Machina X Flayon like in cat form being like, "Feed me! Why did you hate me? Why did you separate me?" Man, I love cats. Bean says this all the time, but like I think like neither of us expected to be cat people. We also had a dog for a while. But like now look at us, we're totally cat people. Cool, so it only took, how long have I been streaming? 30 minutes. But we got through the first page. But now we can go on to the elements. He's Flayon IRL. That's, I like doing a little, do you ever do like a little voice for your cats? I do like a little, when I pretend to be them and I'm like, "Why aren't you petting me? You hate me, you hate me." Because that's the vibe I get from my cats all the time. They'll like look at me and meow and demand to be pet, and they'll just be like, "I can't believe you hate me." It's like the do you know the meme? The what was it? Oh, Miette. There was like a tweet of someone who said like, "Oh, Miette." without even saying that it's a cat. People knew that Miette referred to a cat. Firkins, but you speak Japanese to your cats? Aw, that's so cute. Like, yosh yosh. Neko-chan kawaii. Yoshi yosh. It's because it's more distinct and they— oh, that's why I heard that when you name a cat, you should try to go to names that have like a Y at the end, or they have the E sound at the end, because like if it's at a higher frequency, they respond to it a little bit better. Like for example, the cat Schnackery is not his actual name. It's actually Zach, but that evolved into us calling him Schnack Zyder after Zack Snyder, the director, and then it turned into me calling him Schnackery. So, but because it ends with a Y sound, it's like Schnackery. And the same with Gino, because his name is Gino, but you know, we call him Stinky Jinky, who's a big old stinky. So this is the Glypher sun, which looks a lot like a flower, but I imagine it as like this. In the center is the sun itself, and then this is kind of like the rays radiating out. At least that's how I imagine it. Some of these actually do have like, you can tell what the actual origin of the glyph is. But for example, if I wanted to say like yellow sun, you could like combine them together. Oh, and one other point that I was gonna make with the colors is this one over here. Yash is a green blue. I remember seeing a documentary about how like different cultures see color in different ways, and a lot of times a lot of cultures will combine things that are on the spectrum of like green, blue, and purple, because they just see it as one color. It's not that people of different cultures have different eyes that literally see it all as the same color, but there's no need to differentiate it. It's almost like, you know, how do you differentiate between sky blue versus like a dark blue, like a navy blue? You could also just call them both blue, right? So for peoples of different cultures that like kind of just put green and blue in the same category, it's like, oh, like that's yash, but it's a little bit more to the green side. It's the yash that matches the grass versus the yash that matches the sky, you know? Macaroni's the eldest, fettuccine is the second oldest, and pickles! Pickle! Just like prophecy. Some people see jade green as luxury and how Western monarchs see purple as luxury. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Actually, my mom gave me, fun fact I found out recently, that I'm allergic to fake gold. I need real gold. That's not just an excuse for me to ask for real gold from Beans, but my mom gave me some earrings recently that are jade, and she said that they're good luck. And she started giving me more like jade jewelry recently. And it's also because she claims that we have Chinese ancestry, which I know that a lot of Filipinos do, but like I think we did 23andMe and we found out we have like 0 Chinese ancestry, which is funny. Like we actually have more like Indian from India like ancestry, but I think it's also because certain traditions from China are also like very well known in the Philippines, right? Like a lot of the New Year's traditions come from Chinese tradition. Best that you get hypoallergenic jewelry. Yeah. I thought it was kind of normal to just have itchy ears all the time when I wear earrings. It's like that one person who was like, oh, I always thought that apples were just, you know, like it was normal for apples to make your mouth itchy. And then someone was like, no, I think you're just allergic to apples. So yeah, I'm allergic to fake gold. Or I guess I looked it up, it's the nickel. It's the nickel in the fake gold. Oh yeah, but I was talking about kin. I'm trying to remember how my colleague said it. There's kin, And then there's in with like more of a pause. Bagua, I actually don't know what that is. Let me look it up. Oh, the 8 symbols. Yeah, I recognize this. Around the yin yang, and then there's the different ways that the lines can be drawn. It's funny because there's a oh, I accidentally you can see exactly that I used the browser that I use for the reference. The Bagua. Oh, Phil Chinese tradition. Oh, cool. It's funny, I feel like I recognize them from this American show, Jackie Chan Adventures. I was gonna talk about how you can like combine glyphs together, but I also feel like I'm not quite like I don't want to spread any misinformation. So I'll hold off on talking about that for now. But yeah, Jackie Chan Adventures had the talismans that had like the different symbols on them. Was it on the talismans? I feel like it was something else that they had like those the markings on the bagua. But the next glyph that I'm drawing is water, agua. It's funny because in the lesson that I teach the kids, we incorporated this really fun part where we encourage kids that are multilingual to chime in. And we do it by introducing these glyphs here. And we introduce like this the first one, we always introduce water, this one that I'm drawing right now. And then we say like, oh, this is the glyph for water in English, but if you speak Espanol, it would be agua. But in Maya, in this Maya language, it would be ha. And then we ask students like if anyone here knows another language, tell us how to say water in your language. And we get a lot of students that are Armenian, Russian, Korean. And what's kind of cute is the Filipino students, because like we talked about this before Lambda, but like a lot of times the Filipinos who immigrate to the US, they don't always teach their kids their culture for a variety of reasons, right? A lot of it is like partially colonialism, a lot of it is like they could have personally felt like shamed or like just not, what's the opposite of encouraged, like discouraged to share that part of their history, right? But because of that, there's a lot of Phil-Ams that don't know like language, for like whichever. I don't even want to say Tagalog because a lot of Phil-Ams have like Ilocano roots. For me, it's Tagalog and Bisaya, but like a lot of Phil-Ams don't know the language that their parents or their ancestors speak. But whenever I say like, oh, like, can you say water in your language or your family's language? They always know. They always know tubig. Because it's just one of those words that, like, you know, is kind of like a very basic necessity. So it's very cute. Like, they'll say, like, oh, tubig, but I don't know any other words. And I'm like, that's completely fine because you know at least one word. That's great, you know? So here we have ha, also water, also agua, also tubig, also voda. What else? We had an Armenian student. We had a Korean. Oh, mul. I don't know how to say the L sound in Korean, but mul is another one, right? Mul. That's a really good one. Is that like a lot of people know how to say water in their respective languages. And then I think I asked, the next one that we asked is sun. Like, do people know how to say sun in like their different languages and like their sol? Mizu, yeah, mizu. The French one I don't know how to pronounce. Oh, like, oh, like if you add b in front of it, it would be like boo or bo. So is it oo? Ooh. I forgot about mizu, but what's really cute too is the students that they don't have Japanese heritage, but because of anime, they are learning Japanese, and it's really cute because we had a student that like tried to be like, oh, miss, like I know how to say like these words in Japanese. You want to hear it? And they'll say the basics like konnichiwa, What's another one? Arigato. And like, even though I know a bit of Japanese myself, like I'm definitely not fluent, but I can understand a good amount. I pretend that I have no idea, like that I know zero Japanese, just because the kids like they love showing it off, and like, who am I to take that away from them? You know, like, it's super cute. The next one is Chan, which means sky or cielo. Is it langit? My American accent jumped out when I said that. Langit for Tagalog? Or is it lupa? No, lupa is land. Sky is langit. Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. That was the one thing that I didn't really struggle with it when so in terms of my knowledge of Tagalog and Bisaya, which I'll get to as well. I grew up hearing Tagalog my whole life because both my parents are Filipino. For San Adlaw. Oh, I learned about that because of the gods and goddesses. Or rather, like the different versions of the mythologies. Because I think the most popular version of some of the Filipino mythology, the kind that like if you Google Filipino mythology, the most popular version says stuff like there's I guess like Bathala is like one of them, but there's like one version of the mythology that has no citation to it. like I don't know if it was like a modern invention or not, but I remember trying to do the research. I'll get to that. I'll get to that as well. But in terms of like my knowledge of the language, I grew up with it all my life, but my parents, we talked about this before. Like my parents kind of like discouraged me really learning the language. But I took it in college. I went to a college that offered Tagalog, or they called it Filipino, which, like, for the most part, Tagalog with some words from other languages. And the professor was so passionate, and like, I love our professor. Actually, I won't say her name, but she like always insisted that we call her Tita. Even if you're not Filipino, because non-Filipinos would also take the class. But she would be like, just call me Tita. And then I told her, I remember telling her that like, oh, I wanted to learn as a child, but my parents would like laugh at me when the words that I love to say the most as a child were bulaklak and escuela. But my parents would make fun of me because of my American accent. They would be like, oh, what did you say? Bulaklak and escuela? And they would make fun of me, and I just got kind of discouraged and like wouldn't try anymore. I told my professor about that, and she like, instead of kind of laughing along and being like, oh yeah, parents just be like that, she like, the look she gave me was it was like kind of sad. It's like kind of kawawa. And I think it's because she's heard this story a lot of times. She's probably heard the story like so many times, and then she spoke to me very gently, and she was like, tell your, like, if you can, let your parents know that you're really trying your hardest. And like, she even like gave me like the Tagalog phrase of like, I don't remember it anymore, but she was like, explain to them that you're really trying your hardest to like get to know more about your culture, and to not make fun, because it could be really discouraging. And even though I don't remember her exact words, I just remember the look she gave me was one of like, it was like kind of sad. But like, I think that it really shows though, like how passionate she was to like make sure that people like learned about the language, but also like a look of like, oh, I've heard this story before. I've heard it many a time. And I like the way she taught, because like it was still an academic class. We were still working for a grade, but she tried to make it fun. And like, there were times where the way that she taught was more akin to like how you would teach little kids. Like she would bring out puppets, and then she'd make us do little dances, where like, you would what's that song, like hands, shoulders, knees and toes, and she would convert it into Tagalog. But I think she had her own version. I just remember like the end of one of the songs, she always pointed to her foot and would be like, paa. I don't know. It was super cute how she did it. And then for our final, we didn't take a final exam. We made a video. We did like a skit. Um, can I find it? Actually, I'm not gonna use the same browser that has the glyphs on it. But the glyph, you could probably hear the dog outside. Here we go. We were Team Lumpia. And of course, I'm not gonna put it on screen because it does have real names in there, but what do we have here? Ay nako, nandito na tayo, na tayo. Justin, gusto mong lakarin natin ang sa location? I can't say the location. Hoy anak, magpa-picture muna tayo. We had a script. It was really fun. She made the class really fun. And then from there, oh, this next clip is really easy. Well, a lot of the students that we have, they always default to this one because to them it looks the easiest, but it actually has a lot of religious significance too. But let me draw it. After that class, I graduated college, but I also took a lot of online classes as well for Tagalog, and then eventually I found one for... Wait, this is also Eek? Interesting, because Eek is wind, but Eek is also black. So if you say Eek Eek, does that mean it's black wind? Oh, interesting. So Eek can mean both wind and black. But you actually see this symbol here, the one that looks like a T. You see it in temples. And it's almost like supposed to be an actual like opening for wind to flow through. I actually don't know if that's what it's specifically meant to do, but it does allow for wind to flow through a building. So I feel like there's probably some kind of correlation there. But yeah, I took online classes for Tagalog for a while. But I stopped because it's, for one, they were getting expensive, and then for two, I just didn't have the time anymore to study. But I also like was a TA, not TA, but I used to work for a Filipino school, and because I was the only like kind of tech person, like I was like, by default I was like the tech person because I was the most tech savvy in this like school. So I would sit in on a bunch of classes on Zoom during the pandemic. So I would sit in and I would I would hear like the first session so many times that I could like memorize it at a point, but it would be like the normal greetings like magandang umaga. Like, ako si Bibingka. Oh, see, now I forgot because I have the streamer debuff. Now that I'm put on the spot, I forgot everything. But I also took a Bisaya class. I only took one and I wanted to take more, but the teacher unfortunately never offered more. I think she also got busy. But I think I still have my notes for that too. Oh, that's right. I'm looking back at my files, and the teacher also did a good job of explaining the difference between Filipino, and Tagalog, like the different languages. You can speak Japanese, but just freeze up when speaking with someone. Yeah, no, that's me too. I can understand though, like when my one of the perks of learning Tagalog through class is now I can understand when my parents are talking shit. Not really talking shit, but like, you know, I can understand them a little bit better now. The one thing that I'm noticing though, is that there are a lot of words that I didn't realize growing up. I assumed they were Tagalog, but they were actually Bisaya. Because my mom's Bisaya. She's the one that speaks Bisaya. Like, I don't know, feel free to correct me. Is luoy? Like kaluoy? Like, is that's just Bisaya, right? Like, cause I remember asking one of my friends and they're like, I've never heard that word before, but my mom says it all the time. Yeah, my mom says it all the time. Would you say it's the same as kawawa? Or like, is it a little bit different? I can't find my notes oh, here, I found it. I found my Bisaya notes. Oh, poor thing. Okay, so yeah, same as kawawa, yeah. Yeah, my mom would say it a lot. Either to me or my siblings, and it's like, instead of like, usually in the context of like us crying or something, and instead of having us to not cry, she'll just be like, oh, kaluoy. Oh, so these next glyphs. This next one, I know what the origin is, or at least what my colleague told me is the origin. So this next one, I'm doing the glyph for Earth, which is pronounced Kab. And my colleague told me that what it is I'll draw it. These circles here, these circles are supposed to be seeds that are germinating in the earth. And like these like kind of S shapes, or the things that kind of look like vines, are like the sprout. They're the sprout of the seed. Let me draw this. So this one is very specifically like, my colleague told me like that's what it's supposed to like signify. These are two seeds germinating in the ground. That's Kab, also known as Earth, also known as Tierra. So I wonder then if you could probably combine, let me copy this. Wah. Let's copy that and then paste it. Ah! There we go, put that here. So it looks like, you could just like pile it on like this, but I've seen it more where you would put it at the bottom. Actually, let me copy this. And then paste. Let's merge those two together. But yeah, like it seems like, sorry, let me move stuff around. Here we go. Now like you can combine some glyphs together. But there's a specific way, like for example, I put the green glyph like under the earth glyph. But once again, I'm not 100% sure on that. That's something that we can study together. We can find out together. I found my Bisaya notes. And I remember one of the last things we did was write sentences. Ang akong paboritong bakasyon kadto sa Davao sa year. Kuyog sa akong mama. Napuyo kami sa balay ni akong lolo. Nikaon ako ang mga Filipino chips sa sari-sari store. Ug nakakita ko mga iro, mga kabaw, ug mga baboy. Nisakay ko ug tricycle ug jeepney. So there you go. That was the sentence. Tuig. Oh yeah, I wrote the year in my notes, but I didn't want to. I'll just say it was 1996. The last time I was in the Philippines was 1996. I was only 6 years old. According to my mom, I lived in Davao for six months, but I lived there for 6 months, but I still remember a lot of my time there, but you know, obviously I didn't pick up on the language until I took this class. But yeah, that was our assignment for the class, was to like write a couple sentences in Bisaya, and yeah, I think she said to like write about like an experience that made you happy. So that is the background for that. Returning to the Maya glyphs, I'm gonna try Akab. Oh, it's already been an hour. All right, let's finish up this page. And then we'll see if we want to do Maya or if we want to move into Egyptian. But I also realize this has also turned into more of like a discussion of like Filipino languages. So this word means night. If I were to try and interpret the symbols here, this is also strictly my interpretation. If there's anyone in chat who knows more about Maya glyphs and wants to correct me, you can correct me. But these spots that look like cross-hatching, like these over here, I feel like that is indicative of like not necessarily darkness, but like something that should have dark coloring, because like if you look at the glyph for Earth with the two seeds, it seems like, you know, they're intentionally crosshatched to show that this is supposed to be black or dark brown or something, you know, darker. So I think that like this is probably two shapes that mean like darkness. Oh, cool. We can move into Egyptian? Yeah, sure. I think the last one, actually, I will do... We'll end off with Star and Fire. Oh, Starfire. This is Ak. Ab. And then this is Night. To combine those pictograms to form a word, Egyptian glyphs always look so interesting since it tells a tale. Then at the same time, they use things to describe stuff by combining unrelated. Yeah. Pictogram. Yeah, like just learning about different scripts is very interesting because of how they. I guess yeah, like how much do the symbols match what they're supposed to mean, if that makes sense. Like, I think the big example. What is it with? Is this wood, right? This is the kanji for wood, or an approximation of it. Obviously, I didn't do the correct stroke order, but like how much does this resemble, you know, a tree with branches? Because depending on, you know, with Egyptian, it seems very 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 much like a pictogram. It shows like whatever it's the drawing is exactly what it's meant to portray. But there is another example. I'm actually not gonna do Star and Fire. I'm gonna show you one example that I know because of the classes that I was taught, or my colleague told me at least. Is it here? You know what? Control F. Chocolate. There we go, cacao. So this one here, Let me... Can I zoom in more? I'm gonna focus on this one. Actually, these two are good examples, because like corn, maíz, that glyph looks like corn, right? Like look at all the kernels. But this one over here, this one that looks like a fish, it is supposed to be a fish. Like the shape is supposed to be a fish, but the word is not fish. The word is cacao, which means chocolate. Chocolate. So I'll actually just end off on cacao, and then we'll move into Egyptian. I'm gonna start with a square first. And there's actually like multiple different ways you can draw this one. Because we use this one in the lesson that we teach the kids for work. We even show them the different types of cacao glyphs because some of them, they vary a lot. So there's a symbol here. Oh, you know what I even see here? If you look at, you can see my cursor. This fish is supposed to mean ka. And then the last, like, fins are meant to be the symbol for, wa. Cacao wa. Let me finish this one. There we go, little fin. So this is for wa. Wa. Maybe because cacao looked like fish if drawn. Oh, I have an answer for that. I have an answer. And it actually does go into something that is in the Egyptian book as well. Because actually it's not necessarily that there's any relation between fish and cacao beans or chocolate. It's just kind of that the symbol for the word ka. So this is ka. Kakawa. Ka-ka-wa. But you actually would drop the last A and it would just be cacao, which is the origin of the English word cacao. It's more so coincidence. Like, the fish just means ka. And the example that they have actually in the Egyptian book, which I'm gonna transition to right now, is that, like, take the word belief. Like, to have a belief in something, right? You can break that word into 2 syllables, right? So, like, be-leaf. But they are homophones, or they sound the same as bee. Like the insect or the bug, bee. And and leaf. So they're homophones, right? So you can have bee leaf also be a way to show the word belief. But does a bee and a leaf actually have anything to do with the word belief? Not really, right? It's more so like coincidence. It's a matter of homophones. Which is why, like, the symbol for cacao is a fish. Like, it's just that what is it? The sound ka is designated to fish. Like, I think it's because their word for fish probably started with ka. Which I actually don't know. Is it on here, actually? Do they have fish here? No, they have monkey, jungle, deer, hummingbird. They have turtle. Conejo. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have the glyph for fish here, but there's some pretty cool ones here. Balam, Tsi, Chan, Ayin, Shuk, Suts. I love the bat one, because it really looks like a bat. Step was to combine. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and transition into Egyptian at this point. Because I am also curious about that. And I also feel like it might be a little bit simpler too. So let's go ahead and... This is what we did so far. Let me... I'm gonna label this as Maya. Make that layer invisible, and then let's start with Egyptian. Oh wait. So this is actually a book that I have physically, so I just took pictures of it and scanned it and then uploaded it to this browser. So I won't read the whole thing, but like it's pretty useful. My favorite is this is the first like page of the first chapter, right? I love this. I have been roasting since the beginning of time. I have never seen the like of this goose, and it's basically just a guy saying like, what's this goose taking forever to roast? I think that's my favorite because it's so human, right? It's so human to be like someone just complaining about like this goose is taking forever. The Maya script was very cute and quite round, but also detailed. Thanks for the no problem. And like I said, my knowledge of it is limited. It makes me want to go to my colleague and be like, oh hey, like why do the symbols look like this? Or what are the rules for combining them, you know? But yeah, let's go ahead and jump straight into Egyptian. This one, I'm a little bit more familiar with both the culture, the history, the mythology, and just like the background of everything. Oh, I realize I haven't been charging my iPad. Let me put that in there. Make sure it's charging. Is it charging? Well, let's hope it is. Okay. So, hieroglyphs are pictures used as signs for writing. Many depict living creatures or objects. So we have owl, seated man, mouth, water pot. I wonder if... And as you might expect, some signs represent the object they depict. So, for example, the mouth sign is used to write the word mouth, usually in combination with the stroke sign. I think, is that what you mentioned, Lambda? There's the stroke sign and then the steb I'm very curious about too. However, very few words are actually written this way. Instead, hieroglyphic picture signs are used to convey the sound. So very similar to Maya of the ancient Egyptian language, just as the letters of our own alphabet convey the sounds in English. So for example, the hieroglyphs above the figure roasting the goose do not read as reed, chick, man, face, etc., which makes no sense. Rather, they convey sounds of various words in Egyptian, which together have the following meaning. Cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sketch out mouth because it seems very simple, right? So this can literally mean mouth, but it seems like they're also saying that it can also mean a sound, which it looks like it's R. So let me make it a little smaller. Actually, let's zoom in on the guy complaining about his goose. Cause yeah, it looks like we have here, you know, like a bird shape, a person shaped face, owl. This one's an arm. I feel like I've seen that one, and then a duck. This one probably is like literally like the goose, right? But there's also the mouth one. This one's interesting. This one that is like a zigzag. I've definitely seen the arm one too. Yeah. Okay, let's zoom out. How then can hieroglyphs be read to show us something that the sound of an ancient Egyptian word? The easiest way is through looking at a real example. The sign, this one, depicts a schematic house in a plan and is used to write the word for house. The stroke sign already noted above. One thing that I remember too from ancient Egyptian is that they don't have vowels, or like they do, like obviously in their spoken language they have vowels, but in their alphabet they don't mark it. So this is, I wonder, so maybe this can be pronounced either this way or that way, but regardless it means house. As it happens, the word is based on two consonants, P and R, combined to give pr. We shall discuss the way the ancient Egyptian word is put into our own writing system, how it's transliterated. Now there's another word which makes use of the same sound combination P and R, the word for go out or leave. In hieroglyphics, this is written as... Okay, so this is the house sign, the mouth sign, and then it looks like two little legs. So let me actually put this up here. And let me know if the text is too small. I can try to make it a little bit bigger so we can all read along together. Oh, there we go. Alright, so let's draw that. So we have the schematic here, the house, the mouth, and then the legs. I kind of like the little legs. They do seem to have a little bit of a curve to it, like actual legs. But just like the teensiest tinies, because I imagine that they're writing this very fast. So this is also pronounced the same way with the PR, and it means to go out or to leave. In this word, the schematic house is no longer being used to depict a house, but rather to picture the sound combination PR. This is discussed in chapter 2. But more formally, the symbol is being used as a sound sign or phonogram. Oh, that's the word, phonogram. That is termed the rebus principle. Oh, here, it's the bee leaf. It is as if we were to write the English word bee leaf with a picture of a bee and a leaf. On this basis, hieroglyphs can be used to indicate sounds rather than things, and can thus be used in words quite unrelated to the meaning. Okay, so I'm really glad we went over the fish and the cacao one, because this is such a good transition into that, where it's like sometimes the drawing doesn't always relate, but it's just meant to show the sound. And I think this is the same example my colleague told me too, the bee leaf one. So the word PR, go out, also displays another two signs whose use we will be explained more fully later. The mouth signs read as R, as it did in this one, although it has nothing to do with mouth here, being used instead to complement or clarify the reading of PR. The walking legs are used as a determinative, a sign sometimes placed at the end of a word to give a general idea of its meaning. Here, of motion. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, like, this is used for motion. Oh, I'm covering. There we go. Motion. Oh, that's interesting. You know what? This makes me want to play a game. I might stream a game that I've already played it, but it might be fun to replay it. It's called Heaven's Vault. The Thinamok. No. There's a game called Heaven's Vault, which I might want to play, because it's basically you're trying to you're given like an alien script, like an alien writing system, and you have to figure out what each of the characters means. And some of them are kind of like this, where it's like one symbol doesn't necessarily have a definite definition. Definite definition, is that a word? But it's used to show that, like, oh, this is a noun, or this is a verb, or this is like a walking motion. So I might play that one on stream if people are interested. But okay. So that's what the walking legs can mean. Transliteration in the last section, we rendered this into our writing system as PR. It is normal practice among Egyptologists to transliterate the sounds of a hieroglyphic word in this way. It is a very good discipline to get used to this right from the beginning, and we encourage you always transliterate when reading. The only real oddity is that hieroglyphs are not used to write vowels, only consonants. So that's gonna be pretty big. So hieroglyphs do not show vowels. Which I mentioned before, but like the book just says it so much better than I do. This will seem strange at first, but you'll soon get used to it. It's kind of like in Bye Byein, where At least like in the ancient version, there's no differentiation between the I and E sounds and the O and the U sounds. And it's just more so the context of the word. But I think modern Baibayan has since like modified it so you can kind of tell which one is the E or the I sound. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Oh, so let me start from up here. It is now time you get started reading hieroglyphs for yourself. The important hieroglyphs are the... Is that a 1 or an I? Oh, 1 consonant signs, where each hieroglyph contributes a single sound towards the reading of a word, rather like the letters of our own alphabet. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna be spending some time on this page. So it seems like these are like the equivalents of like the approximate equivalent of like some of the sounds we might have in English. And I'm gonna do my best with them, but let me make this a little bit smaller so I have some room. I can also move around. I can move the canvas around. Okay. I hate that the first one seems kind of complex. It's like a bird, but it has a lot of like parts to it. I'm gonna draw it big and then I'll make it smaller. But we have... Let me do the general shape. It's kind of like this. How would they, like, I imagine eventually, like, people who know how to draw in hieroglyphs or write in hieroglyphs, they would be able to do this really fast. But I just wonder how. There's a curve here. The beak is kind of hooked. It's also, it kind of goes up here. Okay. The wing is a little separated. So like... It's like it doesn't just... Or it kind of does. It like flows down. But there's also a line in the middle. And then it curves up and then down, right? Curves up and down, and then we have like the body. Oh, that's interesting. So there's like a second. I'm looking at the tail feathers for the very first symbol. Maybe something like that. And then it's almost like the body is kind of square shaped. But the legs connect like that. Okay, so let me erase some other parts. So if I were to imagine that people like that become like, I guess not fluent, but they know how to write this really fast, I wonder if it then... Because certain things flow into each other, like these lines all flow into each other. So would it be something like down, down, legs, beak, the face, and then this also goes down? But then you finish the wing, you add a little tail wing, and then you... Like that? That's my attempt. Because it seems like... I'm trying to think of like, yeah, once you get used to this, like, of course people would be able to just like, you know, do it really quickly, right? It's kind of like with kanji. There's probably a specific order that you're supposed to do the strokes. Might be... Oh yeah, we said it at the same time. Yeah, like, yeah, perhaps they have a stroke order. Yeah. Kind of like, another alphabet that I learned is Cyrillic, the one for Russian. Well, it's not just Russian, like Belarusian also uses Ukrainian. There's one letter, this one, that corresponds to D. And when I first saw that, I wasn't sure how to write it. I was like, do you do this and the line? But I think what I found easy is to do the top part first and then little legs. But once again, that is another. As you can see, I'm very much into learning like different scripts. The thing with Japanese, for example, is that I actually can't recall how to write it, but I can read it pretty well. If you were to ask me, like, what can I, you know, like, I don't remember, but I can read it. There we go. Cool. Go. But yeah, so that's our first one. Why was the first one the hardest one? So this would be trans. Don't worry, it's difficult, so no worries. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So transliterated, it would be this symbol, which I actually don't know what it, I guess what that symbol is, but it sounds like you would say the ah sound. Ah. Even natives fumble at the stroke orders at some point. Yeah. Like I said, the only ones that I really know is bye-bye. And English, of course, but even then. Okay, so this is the gura sound. Ah. I'm sure there's gonna be a section that explains whether it's ah or a, or you know, like long a as they say it in English, or short a. Oh, and they even go into, oh, interesting. So it's like sounds that aren't that don't have English equivalents. Okay, so let's go into the next one. We have the ah. So the next one is, this one looks like a feather. So just down. There is a slight curve to it. And then down, and then curve down to complete kind of like that feather shape. And then it's written as like an interesting I symbol, but it's pronounced as I or A. So would it be E-A? In which case I wonder, or maybe it's like a combination, like a, is it when you combine like different vowels together? Oh, my, my milk tea is, it's not melting, it's like the condensation, but it's making a puddle on my desk, so let me just... Huh? Let me mute for a second. Funny, I heard a scratching noise at the door. I thought it was one of the cats. But it was not. Okay, so I wonder then what differentiates these two sounds, but I'm willing to bet they're probably going to explain it. Alright, so that is another letter. So we have A, I, A, Y. So Y, would it be like the Y sound? Because what I'm noticing is that for like some of the vowel sounds, they don't really like specify. But they have to specify eventually, right? Let me just read ahead and then we'll go back to drawing some of these. Consult the... Okay, so there's a full sign list, the proper value, the transliteration. Can vocalize for our own convenience. Oh, I guess they don't. Maybe like it's probably in the index or something, or the appendix. But let's just keep on moving on. Let's keep on keeping on. So this next one just looks like two feathers, but it looks like it can also be shortened into two lines. So we got one feather, two feather, or two lines. And this makes the Y sound. So far we can spell out the name or the word Ai, like AY, which there was a pharaoh who I believe was named Ai, and he was at least from what I remember, this might be outdated knowledge at this point, but like King Tut, his father had a general named Ai, and like there was a documentary I remember where it was like, oh, was King Tut murdered by General Ai? Oh, this next one is the arm. Looks like a square, and then a line. And then this one just has like 2 lines. But I feel like I've seen a version where it's a little bit more like, you know, like drawn out. Like the hand itself is more drawn out, kind of like this. But for now, let's trust the book. And just do like a simple drawing like that. This is transliterated with a apostrophe and also pronounced with the A sound. So now we got 3 A sounds. We got this one, we got the one that's like a bird, we have the one that looks like a feather, and then we have the one that looks like an arm. Put that right here. Okay, and then we got two symbols here. We have... looks like a chick. Looks like a little baby chick. Just do a general shape. Okay, and then head. It's like a fat little chick. Even the, like, look at the little arms. It's like little chicken. like they don't have feathers. The legs go a little bit back. A baby Boyd. It's a little baby Boyd. Or can also be this spiral. Oh wait, no, that's a little too spirally. So down. Yeah, it makes me wonder if it's supposed to start from the inside, because my hand naturally wants to make it into like a spiral, or would it be outside in? This corresponds to W or U. Kind of like the one character, the white-haired character from Evangelion. Is it Kaoru or Kaoru? Oh wait, his name uses that one hiragana. Is it, or is it katakana? Like, it's the one that's kind of outdated, right? Or the one that isn't really that used much anymore? Like the... does it look like that? Oh well. I forgot. Well, the next one's a leg. And this one's a like, this one is more straightforwardly a consonant, so, like... there doesn't seem to be any, like, or hopefully there's less, uncertainty as to, like, what sound it makes. Because there are different ways to say that B sound, but I feel like B is pretty consistent. As opposed to, like, let's say the J sound, which, like, can be, like, the J sound, or it could be the, Y sound. But let's just go ahead and assume this is just straightforward, like, B. And the next one is just P. And that one is just a square. This corresponds to P. Oh, eventually I think I'm gonna be able to write my name. I just need an O. And then, ooh, this is an interesting one. So... I realized my canvas wasn't always visible. I keep moving it around, but try my best to keep it consistent. Okay, so this looks like a slug. So we got a round head. Goes down. Up and then down. So it could be a snake, but then it has these two little like antenna, or it could be eyes. This one corresponds to F. The f sound. Fa fe fu fe fo. Alright, let's go to the next row. We got some more consonants. Oh no, that owl looks kind of hard. Okay, let me take a sip of my milk tea real quick. Alright, let's start with the owl. It looks pretty similar to the ah sound, the first one we did. Move the canvas, there we go. It looks like the head is facing towards us. There's a stop, curve, and then down for the wings. Oh, if you look really carefully, let me zoom in. If you look really carefully, that line is not attached to the side. Like it just goes down. Like there's a curve and then down. It's not attached to this side over here, so maybe I need to be wary of that. So it just goes down. And then there's a big tail feather. Followed by the leg. And then another line that goes all the way down. Hi, Kuriketa! Hello, hello. We are studying some Egyptian hieroglyphs. For the first hour, we did a little bit of Maya glyphs. Now we are moving into Egyptian, and we have this big old chart. Let me show you what it looks like. Zoomed out. This really big chart, which has like the, basically what symbols correspond to what, I guess letters, but also the sound it would make if you're an English speaker, for example. But there are a couple things that I'm still a little confused by that I'm willing to bet they're gonna explain eventually in this book. But for example, we have 3 different ah sounds. So we have this one, the burb. That one says that it's an A sound. The one that looks like a feather is also an A sound, and then this one that looks like an arm also makes an A sound. So I really hope they explain it. Because for now we're kind of just copying these symbols. So feel free to either follow along or just you could also just chat. Let me know how your day's been going. But yeah, that's what we've been up to lately. And yeah, I'm kind of just learning alongside everyone right now. Like I said in the beginning, I hope I didn't make the impression that like I already knew like kind of like how to read and write in these signs, because I'm actually learning alongside everyone. So, and I did read this first chapter before. I should mention that I read it before, but I didn't really take notes. I just kind of like breezed through it. Okay, so let me try the owl one again, because like with this one, I wanted to imagine like someone that already like is fluent in like how to write this, how they would do it in just a couple of strokes. So let me do the head first, go down, make the other part of the wing, go with the head. We also mentioned that like most likely they had some kind of like stroke system, like with Japanese kanji and katakana and hiragana. But unfortunately this guy doesn't quite go into that just yet. So alright, this would correspond to the M sound. So Alright, let me keep moving the canvas. Keep it there. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and start moving all of this to the side that isn't super visible, just so I can make room for more drawings. Your day, you've been trying to keep yourself awake because of your sleep schedule. It's giga effed. Right now, it's like you're in Europe, but you're in Mexico. Oh no! Dang, good luck with fixing the sleep schedule. Thankfully, it's the weekend, but also if you have some kind of work during the weekend, hopefully, hopefully it's not too much of a hindrance to fixing the schedule. I really want to like shout out and like admire all of the Southeast Asian Australia folks that stay up for the Randon streams. Cause isn't it like 2, 3, 4 in the morning for y'all? Daylight savings is coming up in America, which I thought we got rid of that, but you know, whatever. Like, but daylight savings is coming up, so hopefully that'll be better because it would be an hour earlier, I believe. Either that or it's gonna get much worse and it's gonna be an hour later, but yeah. That is happening soon-ish. Oh, the next letter is pretty easy. It's, or it looks pretty easy. It could be deceptively not easy, but it looks like it's just a bunch of zigzags, but I wonder if the number of zigzags needs to be consistent, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or do you think like when the scribes are just writing it down, they just do like that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This corresponds to the end sound. N -n -n. Oh, and then this next one we did, like it was one of the first ones we did. The mouth symbol. This corresponds to the r sound. R, r, r. You're glad DLS doesn't exist in Mexico anymore since it's here. If not, my sleep would be even worse. Oh no. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard a lot about how like we were trying to pass laws and stuff to make it so that like daylight savings wasn't a thing in America anymore. And I kept hearing about it, but like, yeah, we still have it. Like, so, I think what it is that it passed in one part of the government, but not the other. Like, I think it passed in the House of Representatives, but not the Senate, or the other way around, but I'm not gonna get into politics right now. Not when we're gonna be focusing on some ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. And right there we have the H sound. Ha ha ha. How'd you do this fast? Like that? Okay, this next one is a little bit more complex looking. And it's also an H sound, but I'm wondering what the difference is. And where would you start it, actually? Because it's like a double helix. So 1, 2, 3. It's a little sloppy. But let me try it again. Oh, how do they do it? Or would it be from the top? Or is it not even supposed to be a double helix? What if it's like that? This reminds me of how like y'all remember how Betel writes his Y's? Like, you could write your Y's different ways, right? You could do this, you could do this, you could do this. But if I recall, doesn't Betel does his like that or something? Like, he starts with a V and then he adds like a line to attach to it or something. Which, like, that's not how I personally do it, and I know that he caught a lot of flack for it, but I think hieroglyphs are probably more like scribbles than like Japanese writing. I could be wrong, because I don't believe I can draw that perfectly. Oh, that is another thing that I guess I should mention that I know a little bit about with Egyptian writing is that you would see this style, I believe, with more ceremonial things, like writing on tombs, writing on things that are supposed to be permanent, like a sarcophagus. What the commoners wrote, like when they needed the commoners, what the peasants wrote, I believe was Coptic. which I don't know if that still exists nowadays, but like it was definitely more like a script, like more like writing like A, B, C. In fact, let me go ahead and look up like ancient Egyptian Coptic. Ancient Egyptian. Because I think Coptic is still either a language, right? Like nowadays, or like a type of language. Coptic alphabet. Yeah, if you were to Google like ancient Egyptian Coptic, it looks a little bit more like Greek. I don't know if this is the actual like how they would write, but that seems to make more sense for like if you need to write really quickly, you know. It would look a little bit more like what we have as like an alphabet. But this is a little bit more ornate. So, if I recall correctly, this is more so like ceremonial. Or for like, you know, ceremonial texts. Which I guess does mean that I shouldn't be like, you know, like trying to figure out what the stroke order is to some of these. Maybe there was no stroke order. You did bring up a good point, Kuriketa, that like maybe like these scribes that were able to write it this quickly or this like detailed probably didn't have a stroke order. It was just like, oh, this corresponds to this. So maybe in many aspects I'm overthinking, but it is fun to think about it though. Like, how do they do this shape? But yeah, nonetheless, this corresponds to one of the H sounds. Next one would be... Oh, interesting. So this is a KH. I feel like they explain it down here. Oh, they do. They do. Oh, and this does explain the differences between the different A's, the A sounds. So if we go back to the arm, try to say ah while swallowing, made by clenching the throat muscles to imitate ah oh with a finger in throat. Try to say ah while swallowing. It's almost like the NG sound. Like nga 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 nga. Glottal stop. Oh, I know what a glottal stop is. It's like when you say uh-oh. Uh-oh. Or like in Tagalog, there's a lot of like depending on the word, the vowel could end in a glottal stop. But their example, like a Cockney bottle, like a water bottle. So okay, so that's more of a glottal stop. Interesting. It's this one. It's this one that we were complaining about, that I was complaining about earlier. So this is a glottal stop. The arm is more like a... I want to find out what, like... You know how there's, like, an international alphabet of, like, pronunciation? Like, with different... how do I say it? Like... Is this an example of one? Like, this is the NG? But there's like an alphabet that can help you like learn how to pronounce certain things. So this one corresponds to the ah while clenching your throat muscles. So The Y thing reminds me of the N incident with Lando's stream. Yeah. For N, I write it like that. So down, down, down. And then it's easy if you look at it more closely. While I do struggle, it's divided into triangular shapes. While true, there are doodly, but I reckon the royals would prefer scholars' aids than write these in a legible manner. Yeah. Not as triangular, but angular. And I'm sure scholars probably had a similar system to a stroke order. Which, yeah, I think that's a fair assumption to make, right? Especially if they want it to be unified. You know, like if someone in Thebes is like burying a great king or a great not king, but like a lord, and they write something on the tomb, hopefully it would be the same as like the writing style in, let's say, Cairo or one of my favorite cities from ancient Egypt from Assassin's Creed is a place called Crocodilopolis. It's a city for crocodiles where they worshipped my favorite guy Sobek. So yeah, they probably had like a unified or kind of a uniform way to write it. So probably they had some kind of like stroke order, right? And then it seems like this H, if we look here, it says emphatic H made in the throat, like a ha, ha. And then this next one that I'm going to draw, it's like a circle with lines in it. 1, 2, 3. Like the Scottish like Loch Ness monster. The problem is like there's the American way is Loch Ness monster. The Scottish way probably has a little bit more like 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 a loch. Is that the right? Loch Ness monster. Sobek, my guy Sobek. In fact, let me bring him out. Let me go to the BRB screen. Where's my dude Sobek? That's Osiris. Oh no, I'm gonna have to... Just really quickly. There we go. Yeah, he has a city. He has a city called Crocodilopolis. That's the Greek name. That's the Greek name. I don't remember what the Egyptian name was, but that is Sobek. And actually, I don't have to go back to my BRB screen. You can see what else is in this folder. There we go. Just for a second. And then let's put the reference pic back. Thank you, Kuriketa. Sobek, my favorite dude. Okay, so the circle with the lines through it. It says here like you say it like KH, but it's more like the CH in Loch. Loch. Okay, so moving on. Oh, this is interesting. I wonder what shape this is. It looks like a spoon, but it has like... It's almost like it has like spines. Maybe it's a necklace or... Mind you, they use reeds or thin reeds and papyrus scrolls to draw, so I think it's easier to draw these. Oh, very true, very true. Because I'm imagining like them carving it into stone, into temples. So, but most likely like for the Book of the Dead. It's a good example actually, the Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead. They probably would have also had this style. Like, I know you can probably see me like on this browser. But yeah, oh, this is such a good example. Thank you for bringing it up, Nyanda. Because yeah, when they actually like put it on paper, yeah, they probably like simplified certain forms. My gal Almut, I love her. A beetle or cactus on a stick. Yeah, right? I do wonder what that shape is. This is really good to look at too, because you can see how they simplified the forms to make it like easier to write. But yeah, I think the example of like using cursive is a good one too, because I learned cursive as a kid. I don't know if they teach it anymore, but I've heard stories that they don't. But also my cursive isn't great. Pow. Do. Be. Yeah. Big. Oh no. That did not look great. Okay, so yeah, it does kind of look like a beetle or a cactus on a stick. Let's do the general shape. Because what looks like this, either in nature or in their culture, it looks like it could be like jewelry. Like a pendant, but then like why is it sideways? Like even this part looks kind of like jagged. So I do wonder what it's supposed to signify, but it says here this is another KH sound. Let's zoom out. Like a German ich. 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 See, this is like requiring me to know how they pronounce these things in their actual languages and not with like a thick American accent. Ich bin. Anyone that speaks German in chat know how to pronounce this? Because this is so the ch in the Scottish loch, and then the German ich. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Someone please correct me. Well, I'll look it up too. I'll look it up. But German ich. It's like ig. Ig. So like kind of a harder sound, like ig. Or that's how you learned it. And then Yanda, you said if it's jewelry drawn sideways to draw the man, human gods, the jewel is like towards them. Oh yeah, possibly kind of like the arm, right? It's like that, similar to the Amogus edition to the end. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because the arm is drawn like that. It's drawn kind of sideways, so then that would make sense. So maybe this is some kind of offering, or could be indicative of an offering. Dang, studying with y'all is really fun. Because y'all can see my train of thought, and like I like that you guys are kind of adding to it of like, well, what if it's this? What if it's this or that? Yeah, I'm actually, to be honest, I'm not used to studying like in big groups with people. I'm usually like a very solitary studier, if that makes sense. Just because I'm shy. But this is actually really fun. So this next one looks like a staff, kind of like the shepherd's staff, but there's an alternative. Or let me zoom in a little bit more for those that are also following along. This is an interesting symbol too. I feel like I saw a video. This is a video where it's an Egyptologist transcribes a piece, like writing from a tomb in real time. I think she explains the shape of some of them, but this, I feel like she might have explained this one, but for now it just looks kind of like a straight line, but there's something in the middle. So it reminds me personally of like a charm necklace. Or a charm bracelet, rather, but it could also be like, you know, like an abacus? Like the little beads that you move around. You love studying in general, so you enjoy these things? I'm glad. I'm down to do more of these, like, kind of comfy style, like, study along streams. But this sound corresponds to the S sound. This also make me want to study linguistics more, not just like other languages, but the idea of like, you know, the what's the what is it? A dental fricative, you know, or like a glottal stop. Okay, this whole row looks a lot easier. This whole row looks a lot easier to draw. So let's get to it. Okay, so this looks like it's just a rectangle. Could be some kind of pedestal or just a rectangle, but corresponds to the sh sound. Oh, and this next one's interesting because it looks like a foot, but like we already drew this foot, which is the B sound. But I think it's also just, it could also just be a slope. Let me just check my playlist to make sure I'm not playing another playlist. Oh no, we're good. We're good. This playlist is 2 hours and 30 minutes long, so... The one fear is that the playlist is going to, like, run out, and it'll start on a playlist that isn't clear for Twitch to use. But okay, this looks like a slope. And it corresponds to the K sound. Oh, there's 2 K sounds. Alright, they probably explain it. And this one looks like a bowl. With a little, like, handle. So both of these correspond to K. Let's see if there's an explanation below. Ah, and there is. So this is the SH as in ship. And then this one, a back K made further back in the mouth. So k k k and then back ka 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 ka. Okay. Cause like my usual like K sound, it's k k k k k. It's almost like the very back of your tongue. Whereas when they say back K, that makes me think it's further down the throat. So ka 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 ka. At least that's what I'm interpreting from that. All right, and let's continue on with these. So we have k and ka. But I could also be doing that wrong. Who knows? This one is interesting. Kind of like a crow sound. Oh, like a caw caw. Oh, that's a good way to remember it. Yeah, like when you do like the caw, as opposed to karate or crazy, kureji oli. Did you guys see that she's the newest character in Idol Showdown? Hopefully that wasn't a spoiler, but Kureji Ollie. Do y'all remember? Sorry if this is going to dig up some bittersweet memories, but when Tempest HQ sang Snow Halation? Is that what the song is called? with Ollie. Yeah, Snow Halation. That's what that reminded me of. Aw, they were so cute in that video. Very bittersweet. Yeah, right? I think it's also because, like, when it came to the boys, like, it was always a mixed bag on whether, like, they would be, like, whether the Hololive girls would be, for one, allowed, but also, like, down to, like, do stuff with them. And Ollie and I think all of the ID girls, actually, were always super down to, like, you know, do stuff with the boys. So I think that was just super wholesome to me. I just took a sip of my milk tea. Alright, let's finish off this row. So we got the G sound, g g g. I think it's more the EN side. ID have always been open to do stuff with stars. Yeah, very true. That's why Altair only trusts the ID girls. Yeah. I love them all. I wish I could watch more of their stuff. I say I wish, I totally can. There's nothing really stopping me. Other than time, really. I've been watching more of, like, well, the Leaf Tent folks. Like, whenever they stream, I watch their stuff, but I also watch the Andins, Big Ham, Matara. But I would also be down to watch more of, here's the T sound, of the ID girls. I love their music covers. Like, Ayunda Risu, oh my god. Like, her voice is heavenly. And I've been listening to some of Kobo's music, Kobo's covers. I listened to the version of Everything Goes On where the person combines Altair and Kobo's. I like it, but I found myself listening more so to just Altair's solo cover. Not anything against Kobo at all. Like, her version is beautiful, but I think it's because they sing at different keys. It wouldn't really other... Oh, yeah. Yeah. The ID girls are just really nice. So based. I remember I watched Ollie, Reina, and Anya's debuts. I watched them live. Cause I have been into Hololive since Myth. But like I vividly remember watching did they call themselves Hollow Row? Right? Isn't that like a pun? I remember watching their debuts and really liking it. This is TJ. This one had the T like in tune. Wait, as opposed to My only way to keep up with Hollow stuff now is to open Holodecks and make a playlist of streams. Yeah, I during the summer I wanted to make more of an effort to listen to Fauna's stuff, because before Tempest, Fauna was actually my Oshi. But I didn't really I don't know, with Tempest I was like all in. I would like cancel plans, or I would like stay in just to watch Tempest streams. Whereas with Fauna, it was more so like if I caught her, I caught her. And if not, I would just watch the VOD. But like for Tempest, I wanted to catch them live. Like every opportunity I got. And I still do that really, like, if I'm able to catch like Haka or Bettle's streams, I will. But for the most part, I feel like I watch the ones that I mentioned before, like y'all's streams, the Andins, Big Ham. ID Gen 2 is Hollow Row, Gen 3 is Hollow Hero, and Gen 1 is Area 15. I love that name. Okay, so we got the D sound and the J sound. And we've actually finished the chart with this. And then the snake is pronounced like the French Dieu or the English joke. So J, J. Ah, okay, yeah. So it's just the J sound then. D, D, J. Alright, so as a quick review, we have the glottal stop. The uh-oh. This one seems like it's like a E or ah. Got the Y. And then we got this one that is the ah made by swallowing. So, ang. We have the w or u sound. B, p, f, m, n, r. And then these two H's. So there's h, and then this one is more like a h. H. And then these two. Oh no, this is the emphatic H. Emphatic H. Made in the throat. Ha? Like ha? Ha? Meanwhile, the one that's like a circle, that one is more of the h. And then this one, the jewelry, the one that looks like it could be jewelry, could be more like a g or e. I'm trying to remember what she told me to get how to say this one. This one is sa. This one is sh, ka. And what was the difference again? Oh, this one is the back K. Oh, like the ka, like ka. Ka versus k. G, t. This one, like T and tune. Tune? That's what I'm having trouble with. So, like, with my accent, these sound exactly the same. Tune? Or are they assuming that's like a British, like, tune? So is it more like a CH? So T and maybe Ch, D, and J. There's probably like an alphabet, like the transliteration alphabet for this. But okay, we did that whole chart. I'm gonna pause here just to get a sip of my milk tea. But I'll also leave the chart up for anyone that wants to keep on like copying the signs. But let me take a sippy. Alright, so let's see. We could keep going. but a part of me wants to stop here and not necessarily end stream, but we can keep on either just chatting, or we can also talk a little bit about another script that I have experience with playing around with, and that's by Buy-in. But let's read the rest of this page, and then we'll see how we feel. We shall concentrate here on reading these signs. If you wish to identify the objects the signs depict... Oh, there's a full sign list beginning on page 129. The proper value of each sign is a transliteration value given in the second column. The third column simply gives away that we, as English speakers, can vocalize these signs for our own convenience. So unfortunately, we can't go to page 129 right now because this is actually a scanned copy of a book I have IRL. I can reference it right now, but I would need to like take a picture of it, upload it, and like put it here. But seems a little bit much to do right now. But I can upload that. I can upload that for anyone that's interested in that. So to finish off this page, most of these sounds resemble their English counterparts and can be transliterated directly into familiar letters from our own alphabet. However, some one-consonant signs are used to represent sounds not present in spoken or written English, and these require specially adapted transliteration symbols of their own. Each consonant sign represents a distinct sound in its ancient Egyptian language and so needs its own transliteration symbol. Okay. Cool. So yeah, let's just like for the Egyptian portion, let's end it off here. Oh, I just saw. I already forgot Nyanda what that's referring to when you say me. Oh, actually, we can stop with the we can stop like copying down the signs, but I wonder if we can like write names now. Because there isn't like a lot of vowels, but maybe we can just use like consonants to like write names. So let's see. Pa, 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 pa. I want to try my own name first. And then maybe we'll do Lambda and Kudaketas. I'll do both my names. I'll do Pao and Bibinka. Alright, is there... So there's P-A-O? Hey Taco! Hello, hello. Oomp, what is this? We're studying how to do Cursive Raw. You too, for the price of free 99, can learn how to say the Cursive Raw to your favorite orc streamer. We're actually learning Egyptian and Maya hieroglyphs. We just copied this huge chart right here with like what each symbol kind of corresponds to. And now we're just trying out writing some names. Yes, we gon' Cursive Raw today. Not literally, but but yeah, I want to try out writing some names. So I know that like this rectangle corresponds to P, right? So we got the P. Yeah, so that's P. And then A. We have 3 different A's that we can pick from. One of them is the glottal stop, one of them is the ah while swallowing. Ah. So maybe the best one would be the feather? The feather for my name? So Pa, but I don't see an O. There's a U. Pao can sometimes be written with a U, so why not? I'm gonna go for the simpler one. Alright, so that's one way that we can write Pao. Maybe, let's see Bibinka. So B was the foot. I remember that. So B. And then it did mention earlier in the book that they don't always have symbols for the vowels, so I might just need to do 2 feet. Although there is also the feather. Oh wait, how's the feather done again? Okay, like this. So that would be B. And then let's do the same thing again. the feather. Bibinka? Do they have a symbol that's just for the NG sound? Because it's not really like bibinka. Feet drawing for free? Feet mention? 2 of them? With feathers? Yeah, this, like, out of context, this is some fetish shit right here. There's, like, the feet plus the feathers. Come on now. That's my name? But is there a symbol that's just for the NG? Like bibinka? Maybe I'll just do N. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bibing. Oh, and there's probably a proper placement for these two. I'm just writing it in a line, but I'm willing to bet it's like supposed to be like, oh, you put like one symbol here and one over here. So bibinka. Maybe like this, because this is the G and then the KA. And I'm sure, I am fairly certain too that I'm going to be adjusting the spelling as I go. But we'll just leave it like that. So let's say that this is, for now, how you spell bibinka. A whole trigonometry just writing that. Kinda. We learning. Alright, lambda. Where's the L? Is there no L? No. No. Is there no L in the Egyptian alphabet? No. Wait. Nyanda. We work around it. No L's, only W's. Yes. Apparently it's a lion. I saw that too one time when I was researching it. It is possible that maybe they just don't have it in this language. Kind of like, you know, like the F's and the P's in Filipino. But then I wonder what the substitution is. Cause like this is something I learned from like Baybayin, but also just Filipino in general. Chocolate. Instead of like the CH, it's TS, right? In Filipino. So then what's the replacement for L? Oh, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and do Nyanda. So let's do the N. And then there's the Y. The two feathers. Uh-oh. There we go. The 2 feathers. Nyanda. Lion, eagle, owl, foot, hand, eagle, hand, lion, upside down semicircle, eagle, to spell it. Did you? Oh man, were you already trying to like write it out when we were studying it? So Nyanda. Would it be another feather? Yeah. Oh, nice. The lion is so hard to draw. Like, yeah, I think because it's the one that's like kind of in profile, right? Nyan. Duh. Where's the D? Oh yeah, the hand. Nyanda. I gotta practice that feather a little bit more. There we go. Ah, okay. So we got Nyanda. Let's see Kureketa, and let's do taco. Can write in bye-bye and really quickly. No, I'll do that later. So K. Kureketa. Oh, it's the hand. Kuda. Keta. Keta. Oh, there's no E. There's no E, so I wonder if... Oh, I guess my canvas temporarily disappeared. It's okay, it's back. So, Kuda. Keta. Since there's no E, okay, let's do the feather again, because it also corresponds to the I sound. Okay, and then ta. Ta. A lot of feathers. But I'm willing to bet it, the more that we learn, the more it's gonna be like, oh, you don't need to write like every vowel, you know? There's my attempt at Kureketa. Taco. So the T is that like upside down bowl or the semicircle. Ta. The feather, and then K. Yeah, so complex, right? Yeah, I'm still wondering about those vowels. K. And then O. There's no O. Taco. I'll just use you for now. But these are our first attempts. We're gonna keep on like adjusting as we go. The more that we learn, right? That's pretty fun. Yeah. I could go into something that I've been teasing throughout the stream, but there's also bye-bye-in. It's the one that I'm a little bit more confident in, but I'm gonna post this after the stream ends. I want to post our work so far. So we have the Egyptian stuff, that we learned. It's kind of all scattered. I didn't really put it in order. And then some of the Maya stuff, Maya glyphs. So for the next like 30-ish minutes or 15, let's do some bye-bye-in. And I wonder if I could just... look it up here. Because I know most of the symbols by heart already, but in case people want a reference. Eh? Oh, here. Let me... What this is, it's a ancient script used by the Tagalog and Bisaya people before the Spaniards came to the Philippines. And once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to learn and modify. Oh, Kureketa, I missed your message. Maybe for the vowels they use the sound for it instead of the literal letter. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too, because like with like Japanese and even bye-bye in here, you just have to modify the letter and it changes the vowel. So I'll actually start with your name, Kureketa. Kuda. Because your name is actually a good example. So the way that you would write it at first would actually be like ka da ka da, but then you would modify it. I'll show you what I mean. So the symbol for ka is this one. The way that I was taught to memorize it is it's like two rivers. Actually, let me use a better brush. It's like two rivers, but they are connected by a bridge. Kind of like how in in some Filipino languages, like Tagalog, ka can a lot of words that begin with ka imply some kind of connection. So like kapatid is like the word for sibling. Kababayan is like someone who is like your fellow countryman. What's another one? Streamer debuff, I forgot. So, but there's a whole bunch. But this is the symbol for ka. But if I put a mark, and it can either be a dash or it could also be a circle. It could be a closed circle or an open circle. I just do a dash. And that would turn it would make it go from ka to ku. The only thing is that in this alphabet, in Baybayin, they don't differentiate between the u and the o sound and the e and the e sound. So when I do this, it could be ku, but it could also be ko. But I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on. So for the da part, ku da ke. Oh no, the ku da ke da. So this is erase. This is ku da ke da. Yeah. Let me erase. Cut. For lambda. I'm gonna do a little smaller because your name's a little longer, but this is lam. The cross here turns it from ma to just m. Lambda delta. So lam. There's also a b. Lambda. Oh, I need to move it a little bit. Lambda delta lambda delta. This is L-A-M-B D-E-L ta. Where it gets a little complex is that like there's like the kind of the modern version, the modernized version that has these like crosses over here, like this. But in the ancient version, they didn't have that. It would just be more so like context. For taco. Oh, why did I put taka? Taco. It's actually pretty easy. Ta? Cool. It's just those two. I used to take a lot of requests on Instagram to write things in Baybayin, but the thing is it has to be either like a name or it has to be something that's already translated into a Filipino language like Tagalog or Bisaya. Because I had people that wanted me to translate whole phrases from English, like song lyrics, and I'm like, nah, it's not gonna work like that. Because it's hard, because this alphabet was made for like Tagalog and Bisaya language, not English. So there are certain things that don't translate. Like for example, the name Jessica. There's no J in the, at least in like the ancient alphabet or the ancient like sounds of it. So you would actually write it like this. if you wanted to like write it in Baybayin, the dy is actually a substitute for the j. So it would be something like d. Oh no, that's wa. Yeah. Je. Si. Ka. That would be D Y E C Ka. Yeah. And there's other things like chocolate. They didn't have like the CH, but you would use TS for it. There's like a whole bunch of different like rules and stuff. And once again, I don't want to claim that I'm like an expert with it. If anyone knows like more info that I'm kind of missing out on or like not really emphasizing, feel free to let me know. But here's my name, B. Actually, like, this one is specifically for NG, B being Ka. So this is B, NG, Ka. And yeah, that's just a quick demonstration of Baybayin, which is a ancient Tagalog and Bisaya alphabet. Phew! Alright, we went on for a bit, but I hope this like kind of delve into different glyphs and languages and stuff was fun. Here's what I'm thinking. If any of you were kind of following along, I know I kind of rushed through the Filipino one, but if any of you were following along with the other ones, so like the Maya ones and the Egyptian ones, and you want to like show off what you did today, here's what I'm thinking. Maybe just use my art tag. I'll actually put it in the chat. You'll tag me, yay! So yeah, if you want to share... Oh, no, don't worry. We're all learning together. Don't even worry. But I have an art tag. I didn't really advertise it that much, but... Oh, let me mute for a second. Sorry, there was a knock at the door. And of course, it was the kitty cat, Schnackery. What's up, buddy? Hi, Dianork! Hello! No worries, we are gonna end a little bit soon, but I'll show off what we learned today. We did a whole bunch of different studies with Maya and Egyptian glyphs, and even a little bit of like Filipino written language. Or ancient written language. But I was just gonna post in the chat. If you want to share your glyph work, feel free to use my art tag. Or tag me. And you can either tag the Pau Pandan account or the Bibingka Bear. Because I have two. I have a meow meow. I know. Here, let me put that in chat. You can tag either, or you could use the hashtag. Either is fine. Yeah, feel free to watch the VOD. But I'll show what we've done so far. While my cat demands attention. Okay. So the first thing we did is we looked into different Maya glyphs. So we just did like colors, but we also talked a little bit about like stuff like sun, water, sky. So these are examples of like Maya glyphs. And then we have a whole workbook for Egyptian. And it's kind of scattered here, but like we did... yeah, like if you could hear the cat. But yeah, these are like different symbols for like the sounds, what they correspond to and all of that. We did make attempts at writing our names. So next time we can definitely try to write your name as well. But these are attempts. I'm sure that we'll be learning. Because one thing with like Egyptian is that they didn't really use symbols for vowels. So we're gonna find out how that works in a future edition of this. And then we kind of ended off with one that I'm a little bit more confident in, which is like Baybayin, which is the ancient Tagalog Filipino Visaya stuff. So yeah, just some kind of rudimentary studies. I definitely want to do this again. Next Saturday though, I'm going to be doing a Spanish learning stream with Duolingo. So isn't that right, Shnekri? But actually, that's one more thing that I want to say before I end off is that I am planning on streaming a lot more next week. Like, I'm actually gonna stream every day except for Sunday and Wednesday. Wednesday because that's actually Beans' birthday. But I'm gonna try to stream next Monday, next Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All right. So, oh yes, Spanish, your time to shine, Kudiketa. So. I'll release that schedule pretty soon on my Bibinka Bear account. But otherwise, I think that's it for today. So thanks everyone for joining. And if you want kind of a sneak peek of what to expect for next week, Monday, let's see if I could do this off memory. Monday is another hand cam stream for art, more Posca markers. Tuesday, I'm thinking Digimon World. I did play it before. And I want to play it again. So we're gonna play an old PS1 game. Wednesday I'm on break because it's Beans' birthday. Thursday I want to play a game called Four Last Things. It's a very art history game. You'll see. Friday, more pixel art. We'll see about this. I might want to, if any of you have a PNG tuber or a VTuber model, I might want to draw y'all with pixel art. Maybe. We'll see. And then next Saturday is the Spanish language learning stream. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my ending screen and just say thank you, everyone. Thank you for those that tuned in, those that were in the chat, those that are lurking, and those that are watching the VOD. It really means a lot. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and look for someone to raid into. And yeah, if any of you followed along with the glyphs, feel free to post it on Twitter with that tag. Alright, so let me stop raids. Let me refresh my page. So see who is streaming right now. No one? No one's streaming right now? At least no one that I follow? Does anyone want to recommend a place, someone to raid? You guys know if anyone is streaming right now that I can raid into? Otherwise, we'll just end it. But I'll give y'all till the count of 10. 1, 2, 3. I just got a Twitch notification, so someone just went live, I think. Kurigeta! I'm raiding into you. Okay, cool. In that case, have a good one, everyone. Have a good rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, and I'll see you when I see you. Let's go ahead and raid right into Kurigeta. Yay! Bye, everyone.